We're back.
Back in our corner, folks. Episode 19.
This is crazy. We have our next episode will be our finale. Finale for our first season.
Yep.
And then we're gonna decide what the heck is going on.
Yeah, we're gonna have some business meetings. Head to New York. Go hang out in some high rises. Look at the views at the Big Apple and say.
And then when we're done with vacation, we'll come back and talk about what we're gonna do.
Exactly.
So we'll go to the high rise. We'll check out the views, hang out, have some dinner.
Do you think New Yorkans call them high rises?
Probably not.
Yeah. I wonder if you're from New York, what do you call your big buildings?
It's just so normal. Okay, so did I ever tell you about when I met these people from New York? I don't know a ton of people from New York. I know a few, but they're not from inner city like New York,
okay,
or New York City. And these people were from New York City, and they have never had a car. They didn't have their driver's license. They're like 30, and they didn't have their driver's license. And they said everything is within walking distance, and if not, then they'll just never go to it.
I like how you said walking distance. It was almost like a British accent.
Walking distance.
Everything's within walking distance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I've heard of that. I've heard that's very common. Either people walk or ride their bikes. Bikes are popular, but they also have the public transit.
Yeah, we don't
Subways.
have that here in Fulton or Clinton.
Mm-mm.
What? Kind of in Clinton. City bus.
Sure, we do have the municipal transportation. What do they call it? MTA. They call it the MTA bus.
Yeah.
I've never been on it because I have a car and I have my license and I have no need for it.
Right. Which is all good things.
All good things.
I've been watching Harry Potter for the past while, and I just finished. I'm almost done with 6. There's 2 parts to 7.
That's
if you
right.
Didn't know that.
I did remember that.
Mm-hmm. And it makes me want to go to London so bad. It looks so cool, and I just imagine while I'm there, I'll probably have some kind of powers, some kind of magic powers.
Could be. I don't know for sure. I surely wouldn't make any promises that way, but
yeah,
Kyle, your life is anything but predictable, so I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden Kyle started flying.
Speaking of unpredictable, I literally got a phone call earlier today, which we're about to go do after this podcast, and these people were like, "Hey, we have the Holiday Inn Express here in Clinton, and we're getting rid of all of our cardio equipment because we have to get new stuff. Do you want it?" And I said, "How much is it?" They said it's free, and I said, "Yeah, I'll be there."
Wow.
Just randomly. I don't
That's
know who
crazy.
these people are.
This kind of stuff doesn't happen to me, just so you all know.
And the
Kyle
thing about
gets
it is,
calls from everybody.
I do, and they love giving me free things.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because they just imagine I'm broke. Right. But they, I'm just gonna get it and probably sell it. I don't really need it, but it's still like, even if I make a few $100 off of it,
Seriously,
that's an easy few hundred.
Yeah.
Which I can buy coffee with. And I'm going
Speaking
to Florida.
of coffee, we'll get to her Florida after our coffee spot. Steam Anchor here in Fulton, Illinois. Fine establishment. Excuse me. Been there many, many times.
Many moons.
And they are good to us. Mm-hmm. They're good to us, and not only are they good to us, they are good to the masses of people that come to their doors.
Thousands of people.
Yes. I was in Steam Anchor last Friday, and I realized 3:30 is not the time to go.
No,
it is the high school kid after school hangout.
Yep.
Holy moly. I felt bad that I was taking up table space, but they were packed in there like sardines.
Like rats.
Yeah. I don't like to call people rats very often. I don't call them sardines very often either, but
what would you rather be, a sardine or a rat?
Sardine, even though I would hate to eat a sardine.
Yeah.
Have you eaten a sardine?
Yeah.
Are they good?
No. Really bad. Like, you think that they're going to be bad, and then you eat it, and it's worse than you thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and it sounds bad as it is.
It's repulsive.
Yeah. But I know people, my mother-in-law, I hope I'm not throwing her under the bus. I think my mother-in-law likes sardines.
There's a reason we've never met.
They're very salty. I think that's what a lot of people like about them, and obviously you can eat their bones and stuff.
Yeah, that freaks me out. The consistency's weird. I don't like pickles either, and like things that are in a fluid that you pull out and eat. It's just not good for me.
And I get that. I really do.
So this cardio stuff, hopefully, so I'm going to Tampa, and then I'm going to Dallas next week, and then I'm back for 2 weeks, and I'm going to Gulf Shores, Alabama, for a week with my family. And this cardio equipment is going to basically pay for like that, which is cool.
That is very cool.
That makes me happy.
The timing's very great.
It's very appreciated.
Kyle. Hi, Kyle.
Hello.
Kyle likes sunshine. So he is going to literally, Florida is called the sunshine, right?
Yep.
Okay, the sunshine state. So Kyle's going to stock up on the vitamin D he so desperately loves.
Uh-huh.
And I'm happy.
I've been taking a vitamin D supplement.
Have you?
Yeah. I don't know if it's
Chewable?
made any difference. I wouldn't chew it.
You wouldn't? Maybe you could if you wanted to. You wouldn't, though. Okay.
I remember in high school, fish oil pills.
Oh, yes.
We
Omega
dared
D or
one of our
whatever.
friends in high school to chew like 3 of them at the same. And you can imagine what the outcome was. Not good.
No.
Didn't smell good.
I once considered taking those omega, I forget what they're called.
Omega-3.
Is it omega-3?
Yeah.
Pills, supplements, because I don't eat, there is no fish in my diet. A fish has not entered my body. Well, that's weird. In quite some time. That's helpful. I just choose not to consume fish. It grosses me out for some reason. I love a burger because when you eat a burger, it looks nothing like a cow. Do you know what I'm saying?
True,
and when you eat a fish, it smells like a fish when it's alive. Do you see what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
a burger doesn't taste like a raw cow would or smell like one, but a fish does. So I see dead fish floating in the river, and then I see it on a plate, and they kind of look and smell the same.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my thing.
It's true.
So but I'm not getting the nutrients that come from fish, and fish are really good for you.
Unfortunately, like deep fried fish is the best. Which is really good.
For you or good?
It's terrible for you. It's
Yes.
delicious.
Yes.
But there's no nutritional value at that point, pretty much. Whereas if you have a fillet of salmon, it's one of the best things you can eat.
Fillet's a great word.
Mm-hmm.
Can we pause there? Fillet. It's just, I don't know.
That's why we order like filet mignon.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It just sounds like you have money.
It does. Kyle and I are all about sounding like you have money, even when you don't.
We're good at it.
That's how you roll through life. You pretend to be a high roller while you're rolling low.
Yeah,
and eventually you will be a high roller.
Right. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I got my car is in the shop right now because I hit that deer. $18,000 is what the damage costs were, which is ridiculous to me. But the thing is because there's so many little cameras and sensors and stuff now on cars that it has to be mostly electronical. And they gave me just an older, crappier version of my car to drive around
Which
for now.
Which is not that crappy.
No, it's decent. But okay. And I love my rental car, Billion. Thank you. But here's the thing about it. There's no tread on the tires.
Oh.
And so every time I try to go, for the most part, it's like I feel like I have a 8,000 horsepower engine. It's just like spinning on my tires. And I'm like, gosh darn it. I'm not even trying to go that fast.
You wish you had your Jeep now, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Man, do you ever see it rolling around town?
Yeah, they actually rear-ended someone not too long, like the same week that I hit the deer with my car.
No.
Yeah, and so, but the problem is that it's got like a custom, everything in the front's custom, so they have to find the custom front grille. They have to custom paint it with the rhino lining. So it's like a huge.
You think it's going to be more than 18?
No, I don't, but it's really hard to find to match it up perfectly.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ridiculous. Oh, right on my speaker, dude.
Did you spit on your speaker? It's all right.
No, well, no, my drink
hardy.
did. It's probably gonna clog it up, and I'm probably not gonna hear nothing no more. I just got some new Beats by Dre.
Did you?
Headphones, like the over ears.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a pair?
No.
They're very nice.
Nope.
They're great.
I believe you that they're very nice.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard they're very nice.
They have studio headphones, which I think when we upgrade these, we'll probably get the Beats by Dre studio headphones.
Ooh.
They're $400 a piece. It was a step down from Beats.
Was it?
These ones, yeah.
Now, Kyle, I don't think we've ever talked about this. Tell us about the original podcast that you got this equipment for. This was not an investment for us.
No, yeah.
I mean, the lights were. The lights, were.
Lights, camera, action.
Oh, and the plants.
Plants, candle.
And the candle. Yeah.
The plants are basically just for us at this point. They're never in the shot.
No, I know. I realized that recently, but that's okay.
It makes the apartment look good.
It does, and the greenery always helps the brain.
I get a lot of compliments on this specific People love when they see this.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, "This is so cool."
It's kind of like a little. It's kind of. It's kind of like a little. When you go to like Hollywood and you see certain house, or like the Home Alone house in near Chicago, you can go and see the Home Alone house, and people think it's so cool. I mean, you can come and see it's kind of like that.
Right. Well,
I didn't vocalize that very well, but that's kind of
we're sell tickets. People come visit the studio.
Yes.
Okay. You can even sleep on an extra couch set I'm staring at right now.
Right across from us.
And if you have a baby, you can sleep in the crib next to it. This is perfect.
He's right. There's literally a couch and a crib on the opposite side of the room.
So,
sorry, original.
It's kind of a long story,
That's
but
okay.
I'll shorten it up a little bit. Maybe. Oh, just broke something. No, I didn't. My friend Josh and I were good friends, and he got cancer in his leg, in his bones in his leg, and had to get his leg amputated from like almost his hip down. And so we started a podcast called Two Dudes, 3 Legs, which is funny.
That's right.
Which is funny.
I thought that was a very clever title.
Yeah, and it didn't really take off. He moved shortly after we kind of started it, and I kind of kiboshed it. But it was more like a health and wellness type podcast stuff.
You did like 3 or 4 episodes, I think. You said? I mean, you didn't release any. You said. But
Nope.
But you recorded a few.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a good idea. Honestly, though, it was kind of good timing because it was like the end of the year, and so I just wrote all this stuff off of my taxes. And so
helpful.
So here's the thing about
Tax
KT3 is that it's not. I don't know if I've explained this or not. It's not a gym, as far as the business sense is concerned. It's just a business. So like, when we created the business, we didn't create it as a gym. We just created it as KT3 LLC, so that if we wanted to do any other form of operation, we could under the umbrella of KT3. So it's not confined to a gym.
Right.
So then when I was like, I'll start a podcast, it's kind of a business-ish. You just be under the umbrella of KT3. And so that's how we do things.
KT3 Podcasts. It's their new branch.
Yeah, well, it's 2 Dudes in a Corner under the umbrella of KT3 LLC.
I'm finding this out today. Didn't know we had
It's all brand new.
Didn't know there were any bigwigs above us, but I guess there are.
Well, for the plants that we bought, that's pretty much the only thing that we've spent money on.
Does KT3 LLC have a board? I would like to be on the board.
No.
Just so I can have a vote.
We could be the board. I have 100% control right now.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So you're the board.
I am the
board.
The
boss and the board.
Uh-huh.
Dang.
The whole kit, kat, and caboodle.
What a sweet setup. Man.
It's not terrible.
I have a board.
What color is it?
Gray boards, and they're all over my studio. My board,
that is cool.
My what do you call that? Trim.
All
my trim is like a grayish boards. Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
Kyle, tell us about Kyle. At the beginning of the podcast, said he would like to update you all on.
We weren't live yet when I said that.
You weren't. You guys didn't know this, but Kyle told me he wants to tell all of you about some exciting plans he has in the works. Kyle?
Yeah.
Take the floor.
Okay. Again?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, this floor is this reeks of Kyle right now.
Woo!
It's Versace cologne, if you're wondering.
It's nice.
I spilled coffee all over me, so it's probably coffee
Versace.
now.
Latte Versace.
Okay, so I have tons of plans for the year, but one of the biggest ones is I got to talk to my banker still, probably soon. I think I'm going to set up a meeting with him soon to present this idea, because it's kind of a genius idea, but that's okay. I don't want to take full credit. The board has decided that it's genius. Yeah. And so we're going to hopefully build a new facility out by a gymnastics studio that's in town. Shout out Justin. He's a big supporter of ours too. He's a stud muffin. And so I'd like to be next door to him, because there's tons of parents that just sit there while their kids are doing gymnastics, so they could come over and work out while their kids are doing their thing, and line up class times with it so they can have like boot camps and stuff. So that's kind of one of the biggest reasons we would do it, is that'd be very smart.
Yeah.
However, I have been thinking about like the layout of the building, because I love designing things like that, but I'm really bad at using software to design it, actually. So I just had to do it in my head. Not efficient. No one else can really see it.
Very creative.
But I can see it.
Yeah.
I can literally see it. like walking in the door, and it's so cool. So I want to, it's going to be a big pole barn, and the front's going to have like, you know how windows come to a peak like this, and then they go like that down?
Yep.
It'll be in like chunks like that, but they'll meet at a peak. It'll be kind of cool. So the whole front will be windows. And then we'll have 2 garage doors in the parking lot facing the gymnastics studio. There'll be like glass kind of garage doors.
Okay.
So they'll have natural light even when it's wintertime. We can't have them open. And then there'll be like the main entrance door there. And you'll walk in. And I think what I want to do is like, have you ever seen like the epoxy flooring in garages?
Yes.
I want to do it like that, but like there's a marble vibe you can do to it. So it'll be like white with like black streaks in it. It'd be kind of cool. And so that'll be like most of like the weight room, while the machines and stuff are, where you're not dropping weights. Where you're dropping weights, obviously, be like black flooring. But down the middle, for like 75% of the way width-wise, it'll be like the bathrooms you'll walk in, and it'll be like shower rooms. So 4 bathroom shower rooms, locker room things. And then you'll go up the stairs over top of that, and that's where we'll put all the cardio stuff. So the cardio stuff will be like on a mezzanine. Yeah, like a mezzanine looking over the gym. And then on the right side will be like the high intensity, like not CrossFit stuff, you know? Okay. And on the left side will be like the traditional weight room machine stuff. And then we'll have a classroom where we have all of our boot camps and stuff. So.
Sounds like a big building.
Huge. It'll be like 12,000 square feet. And it'll be all black, just like this vibe here. And it's going to be the coolest thing to ever exist in Fulton history. Maybe not. I don't want to.
Dream big or go home.
I don't want to limit the others that are coming up.
Oh yeah.
Right, you know.
You never know who's being homegrown Fulton entrepreneur.
Hopefully someone's building a giant gym right across the street.
Competition
exactly
raises the bar.
It does.
Are you the only gym in Fulton?
Yeah.
I just thought of that question.
Yeah.
Wow. Business opportunity, Aaron. Real big business opportunity.
I am. There's 6 gyms in Clinton. 7 gyms in Clinton, though.
Right. Yeah, I knew you had competition nearby, but I guess I didn't think about.
Yeah.
You're the only one in Fulton.
Crazy, huh?
It is crazy.
So anyways, I lay in bed and think about that design all the time.
I'm clearly you've thought it through.
And then I'm just like, dang it, I just need to build it so I can see it. And then I tried, and I literally can't even find the software anymore that I built it on. So,
have you ever played with one of those 3D modeling?
That's what it was. Yeah.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, it's like you build the blueprint and then it models it for you.
Yes, so fun. Then you can go and pick through plants and furniture and dogs. It's so fun.
Yeah.
I used to play with 3D modeling home software.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Like I treated it like a video game. Does that make me sound like a deprived child? I probably does, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Some people chose, to play GoldenEye. I played with 3D modeling software.
That makes you sound so smart. But like you're like some kind of crazy engineer
which I'm not smart at all.
Whatever. You
in that way, I'm not at all. I like smart people. I admire smart people. I aspire to be a smart people. But I know my limitations. And sometimes one of our first friend couples when Tabby and I got married was
Kevin and Lisa.
Yes. And they're I love those names. I hope there's a Kevin and Lisa married out there somewhere because that's really nice. No, their name was Joe and Karen, and my wife knew Karen because they grew up in Omaha together, and randomly her husband was an engineer and got hired in Comanche, Iowa, which is only like not far from us. And so they moved to Comanche, and I remember the first time we met them, and Joe, her husband, Karen's husband, was probably one of the smartest people I had encountered to that date. And I just sat there and I remember we would go over for dinner and I'd ask him what he did that day for work. And then he'd start to explain it. And the 3 of us, me, Tabby, Karen, would just kind of stare at him. And our eyes, I think, would gloss over because I literally could not understand what he was describing. He worked in like water works, like not sewage,
tiers?
But like managing tiers. So he's kind of a therapist, I guess, a water therapist.
This is making more sense
you
now.
know?
Okay.
No, but seriously, we couldn't grasp it. And then we would say all the time, and I hope it encouraged him and gave him a little ego boost. We would tell him all the time how smart he was because we just we marveled. It's not me. It's not me.
I get it. There are those people that you're just like, man, I want to just see what
Tap
you're.
into
Yeah,
that.
just give me a little bit. Just give me a little bit.
I don't want all of it.
No.
I'll just take a.
All of it seems stressful, but a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, so I can.
The more smarts you have, the more stressed you are to live up to your smarts.
That's so true.
You know? Wow. People think you're smart. They're going to hold you to a smart standard.
That's like if people think you're strong, then they're going to ask you to help move their furniture.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Or if you have a truck, people will also ask you to help move their furniture.
My father's truck is right outside. I literally called him and said, hey, Dad, can I use your truck?
I need that.
Just because I knew he had one.
Yeah. Which is why Kyle wears big shirts. I mean, this is probably not how Kyle always has rolled, but his most recent preference is to wear big shirts so that people can't tell what his size is. And I'm assuming so they underestimate you.
They do, and then never ask for me to move furniture.
Right.
You know how
it's brilliant, really.
The amount of times that I've helped people move things, and to be fair, I have probably asked people to help me move things more times than I've actually helped other people move things, because we're always moving stuff.
Yeah.
And I asked you to help. Well, you offered.
I offered today.
I was eventually going to ask, but I was waiting for you to maybe offer.
Well, I read your mind.
But yeah, so just don't get strong is kind of what I'm saying. But do buy a gym membership. Just don't get too strong.
Yeah, just stay subtly fit. Should be your new tagline. KT3 Fitness, subtly fit.
That's perfect because people don't want to be intimidated.
I know. I worked out with Kyle for the first time. Well, we already talked about this last podcast, but I just wanted to shout out to Kyle. He's in this work for good reason. He was very good at introducing a newbie to the weight world. So
it's kind of fun, right?
It's fun when you're doing it with the right person.
Right. That's a huge thing.
It's intimidating. It is intimidating for anybody and everybody. But I saw this post today. It was just there for me. It was just there.
The steak one?
No, that one was good too. No, it was someone who said, what did he say? You're never going to be strong after your first. It was weightlifting was the first thing he mentioned. And he said your first speech isn't going to be a knockout. Your first podcast, they even said podcast. Your first episode is not going to be a hit. All this kind of stuff. And he said, but you can't get to your 100th until you do your first. And I was like, oh, that is good. Oh. That is good. And with weightlifting, that was especially convicting. It's just hard to start for anybody.
Starting anything is the hardest part for sure.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like this termite business is actually like taking place now, and our boy Dan is getting certified. Passed his first test. So
wow.
He's got one of his certs. He's got to get one more test passed, and we can get the license and get all that stuff figured out before we talk to the lawyer. But
that is crazy.
You just got to do it. Like at some point, you just have to start putting things in place and do it. And I think that's one thing that I've always tried to do is like if I have an idea, if I don't do it right away, then I'm just not going to do it probably. And so if I don't start implementing it immediately, then it'll just disappear at some point. And you're always the most excited right at the beginning of something too. And so if you can leverage that, you can get so many things done.
It's true. And then once you're in, a lot of times because people either enjoy it or appreciate it or whatever, then it's harder to back out of a plan that you initiated because you at least got it started to a point that people now expect something of you. It's kind of a good sense of accountability where if you never, for example, this podcast, if we had never released 1 or 2 episodes, we would have never heard from people who were listening to it, or, we just wouldn't have done it. But once you start it, then it's easier to set a goal and be like, okay, let's do 20 for our first season and go from there. So just start. Amen. Amen and amen. Start and see where it goes. Also, with regard to if you have a vision or a dream of what you want to achieve, reach out to people that are doing what you want to be doing and just shoot your shot, folks. That is one of the biggest things that I've learned over the past decade is you will not progress if you don't bother asking. You're going to get it ignored a lot, and you're going to get a lot of unfortunate denials, But you'll also never make the progress into what you want to do if you're not willing to connect, like put yourself out there. Because you'll be surprised how many people are impressed by someone who's just willing to say, hey, I know this is kind of crazy, but would you talk to me?
Right.
And people admire that because they remember being in that spot.
Yep.
And I have had multiple people reach out to me and say, thank you for encouraging me to try something new. I've been, for example, wanting to try acting for 30 years. Like I'm a mom with 4 kids and I've just never tried it. And so I'm going to try something. I'm going to try doing a local production or whatever. And that's what it takes. Just try it and connect with the people that are doing the type of work you want to do. And you'll never know. You just never know unless you try.
Don't ever know until you try it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my new, this is pretty recent. It's probably within the past year. I've just learned so much in like the business world through people and books and stuff that I had never learned before, which is good. I think it was good timing for it to happen too. But I've decided I like to start something and then develop it to the point where I can start something else and it just works well. I think that's the entrepreneur, like that's the true entrepreneur mindset is like, okay, how do I build it? And then like hands off, it still does its thing.
Yep.
And that's the fun part to me is like, how do you develop the system so well that it runs when you're not there and you still know that people are getting the same experience or product or service that you could offer them.
How long do you think is your like fatigue moment? Like, or not fatigue moment. How do I say that? Like, how long do you stay like passionate about something? Like, do you think there's an ideal time frame where you're like, okay, I start something, then I kind of oversee it for X, Y, Z number of months or years, and then pass it off? Do you know what that time frame is, or are you not sure yet?
And it's weird because like the gym has been going since 2016, so it's like 7 years.
Right. That's crazy.
But it's changed so much within that 7 years that it's like there's always something. I think
and
that's
a new location,
right?
New interior. Like you change things a lot.
Yeah, and there's reason for that because I do have a hard time doing the same thing for a extended amount of time, and I think a lot of people are probably like that. I'm just in an opportunity where I can do that for the most part. Mm-hmm. And so, and for like in a business sense, if you have a new idea and you implement it, it's going to enhance your business. Like everything you do for the most part, unless it's detrimental to your business, is going to make it better for your people, which then, creates more revenue. So then you can do more things. And it's just like a constant cycle. And so trying to figure out the best way or the best things to implement, is good. So I think that's such a hard question because like within the business, there's different segments that I can like.
Right. It's not necessarily a new business completely.
Right. It's just new ideas. Yeah.
Well, and over the years you have you're way less involved. Not involved is not the right word.
I am.
You're able to remove yourself, which was when need be, which was one of your goals. And that's change too,
Wow. It's crazy getting old, man. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. It's nothing like it, really.
I'm so excited, dude, for the beach. That's all I've been thinking about the past few days.
Yeah.
And then come back here for a couple weeks and go to the beach.
Right.
And then come back.
Beaches are in your future. Immediate future.
Could we build a beach here? What kind of business could we build that would make people feel like they're in the summertime when they're not?
I'm sure it's doable. Mm-hmm. If you were to create like a greenhouse type building that traps heat and create like a pool with a sandy shore.
That would be awesome.
It'd be kind of cool.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
That would not fail.
That's kind of revolutionary. Oh, around here it would be unbelievably popular.
Yeah.
Dude. Excuse me, I have to go.
Yeah, right?
Form a business plan.
Right. So I went to this greenhouse and my cousin got married in this greenhouse in Des Moines. Have you ever been to the Botanical Center in Des Moines? Humongous like glass dome, basically, that has like tons of plants and stuff, and like a pebble walkway that you can go through everything, and it's just so cool. I'm like, this is a fun vibe. And it was wintertime when they got married, and it's still all just so green and colorful and awesome. And I'm like,
did it feel moist?
A little moist.
I know it's a terrible word. Excuse me.
No, it's fine. But when I, my my ecosystem thought for all of the businesses and the church and all the stuff together, that's how I envisioned it looking. It's just big and green and life-giving.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Botanical Center in Rock Island's really cool too.
Yeah, it is cool.
Have you ever been in there?
Yep.
They fed the koi fish, and they've got this super cool plant that if you touch it, it curls up to hide itself. It is so cool. That's way off topic, but it's cool.
I don't think we've been on.
Well, there is no topic.
Yeah.
What am I? Who am I kidding?
That's the best part.
I can talk about plants that don't like to be touched, and they're like a fern. You literally touch the edge of their leaf, and they go, and they suck in. Kind of like I'm doing right now.
I was wondering. So thin. So lean.
Yeah, very lean.
Just kidding.
Very lean.
What's going on in your so the Toyota commercial was awesome that you did.
Honda, but fun. Thank you.
It was Honda. Dang it, I'm driving a Toyota.
Smart Honda in Clive, Iowa.
Yeah, it was Honda,
good time.
Wasn't it?
Well, it was
sure?
So positive. So positive.
The worst.
What was so funny, I don't remember if I talked about this in a podcast, but I was the only, while I was there, hired talent. They used one of the workers as talent. And so this guy who's normally just, dealing with people who bring in their cars to get fixed came on and was acting. And he did good, but it is one of those things where he required a little more management. Or they'd be like, no, just pretend you're talking to him. He was just very stiff at first. For what question did he ask me? Oh, he said, your car is ready. Sir, your car is ready. And first time he came up, he just kind of stared deer in the headlights at me. Your car is ready. And they were like, no. Like when you sit and talk to someone, how would you say that? Your car is ready. And they're like, no, please just relax. That kind of stuff. So that was kind of fun. But in the commercial, he did great. He did fine.
And then your YouTube blew up. Listen, we talked about that a little bit last time, I think.
That was
what else is going on? I'm trying to think.
Blessing to anyone and everyone who's subscribed to my YouTube. Yeah,
what are you at now? 1.5?
1.6.
1.6.
1.6. Yeah. And then I found out you have to have, which is way harder than getting subscribers. You have to have 400 watch hours. People watching your content for 400 hours before you can monetize. Dumb. No, thank you. People don't have that kind of time to invest in watching me be dumb.
I think I could put it on my TV and put it on repeat.
There we go.
Does that work?
I don't think it does. I think smart. I think YouTube's smarter than that.
Dang it.
Here's to you, YouTube.
They've advanced.
Smartly done.
Since the last time I did that.
Yeah, and this past month has been a challenge. I haven't even told Kyle this yet, but there were 2 imminent projects that are not imminent anymore, which really is a bummer. 2 of them being their feature films. One was I completely and totally thought was for sure, and then I heard from my agent the other day that they are passing, which was they were supposed to start filming this month, and so I would have been working on it by next month or March. Then the other one was pushed back initially from January to spring, and then my other agent just responded and said, Aaron, sorry, they're pushing it back to the fall and winter. So those are the kind of things you don't really like.
Most of the time,
especially when you're kind of counting on them. So just have to redirect and last week I spent a lot of time reaching out to people that I've been in touch with in the past and just reminded them that I'm alive and breathing and still can do stuff for them if they want me to. But it's been, I was actually thinking about this when we started this podcast late summer. And I think, where's our bio? Hang on here. Please hold.
Please hold,
Please hold.
Whoa, what is that?
It's something. Okay, here we go.
A couple of handsome men.
Very handsome. Jeez. Very handsome men. Dre left us our review, which is great.
How long ago was it? Did it say 1 hour?
Last week or something.
Oh, okay.
Where's our hang on. Thank you for holding with us.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find our own bio. Here we go.
Oh.
Okay. So Aaron Fullen, actor, film composer, and influencer, and Kyle Hubner, entrepreneur, gym owner, and trainer, take you on and sole board member, take you on an entertaining journey as they discuss life, new ventures, and all things under the sun in their corner of the podcast studio. Love it. But I think when we started this, the life, new ventures, and all things under the sun looked a little different than what it ended up happening.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
I think I was a little starry-eyed going into what I thought we were going to be talking about on the podcast all the time. That things would be like, yay, all the time. And it didn't happen. And that
isn't that weird?
It's one of those things that this podcast has been strangely comforting amidst that, where I'm like, oh, the regularity of this, even though we're not always talking about new gigs that we got or new everything's exciting and fun, we've been able to come and talk and through a lot of highs and lows, period, which has been really, really cool. So thanks for all starting out starry-eyed with me, and then by now I'm just a little more grounded, I think.
Yeah. Life has a way of humbling us, doesn't it?
It does.
Doesn't it? There's also, I just want you guys to know that on the Anchor page, if you go to Two Dudes in a Corner, there is a little button that says support with a $sign. And our podcast fund is still pretty...
It's low.
Minimal.
It's low. We're not going to even mince words. It's much lower than we want it to be.
It's as close to zero as you can be with also being zero.
Right. I know. I know. That was good. That was well said. Yeah. It's empty. Yeah. But that's okay. This is our first season.
Yeah. By season 70, we will have at least 50, 60.
Dead. We'll probably have a morgue. We'll have a really cool, what do they call those? Mortuary, what do they call those?
Pyramid.
No, you put them moratorium.
Morguerism. The morgue.
Kind of, it's a morgue, but it's like a little building that's made out of like marble and granite and stuff.
Oh,
that you can put
tomb.
Them in. It's another word for tomb. Anyway, you see them in graveyards all the time. Mortuorium.
The Mortuoriums.
That's it.
Yep.
We could maybe have one of those, and then it'll be like a consolation prize. We didn't get our castle, but we got a really nice tomb.
And hopefully a handcrafted casket.
That was so morbid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, we're going to have a castle. Very soon. Much sooner than any of you think.
Probably also sooner than any of you guys are going to have a castle.
Thank you.
Unless you already have one, then maybe rent us some space in your corner.
You know, my social media feeds me castle stuff a lot.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They know what's up.
Did an article about what it's like living in a castle. And I didn't read it because I'm not living in one yet. But when we do live in one, I'll read it.
Because you'll be able to relate a little bit.
Then I'll be able to relate instead of
jealous.
thank you.
Yep.
I'd like to keep that at a minimum.
Ow.
You okay?
And you ever get a hiccup when it gets stuck like halfway up?
Oh, yes.
And you're like, oh, now
pain what? Right in there.
Oh, now what? That's how I felt. That's what I said in my head. And then I said it out loud.
That's what I said in my head. That's a song, Kyle.
That's what I said in my head.
That's what I said. That's what I said in my head. Country song for sure.
Gotta be a country song.
Gotta be.
A little twangy. Something a little twang.
Little twang. Got a little twang to it. My wife wrote a song. Wrote a song. That's one of her New Year's resolutions is to she write the music. Nope. Scratch that. She writes the lyrics. I write the music to at least one song.
Oh,
and she
so cool.
already finished writing the lyrics to a song. And I started writing the music very different than what she envisioned in her head as she was writing the lyrics, which I knew was a possibility that she had something in her head and then she said she wants me to write it, but she doesn't necessarily want me to write it without, So I was writing it as kind of a power ballad-ish with some country tone, but she wanted it to be like Shania Twain. What's the song? Wanna be a woman?
Feel like a woman.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like a woman.
Yeah.
She kind of wants it in that. And I'm like looking at the words and I'm thinking, no, I don't think so. So we're working that out. It's a cool song though. It's called, I don't know if she wants me to say this yet, but that's okay.
Does it start with, let's go girls?
No, just let's go guys.
Oh.
Yeah. It's called Woman, I Feel Like a Man. What's it called? Did you just call me stupid in front of our 36
I was
hype
calling
people?
me stupid.
Oh my gosh. I'm mortified. No, it's called I Know Better Now.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, and it's about getting to know someone over the years, and that you think you know someone at the beginning of your relationship, and that ends up being a little different later in the relationship, in a good way, but typically through going through hard things. And so it's a song that kind of goes through a journey of when Tabby and I first met, to when we started dating, to when we got married, to when we went through not great things, and then today. And not only do you know better now about someone, and I encouraged her to include this line at the end about not only do you know better now, but I know you better now. That's kind of cool.
It's kind of
very
fun.
poetic. Yeah,
it's a very fun
thing. You
thing.
guys will like it when it's done.
So here's something. Have you guys ever thought about trying to? You guys would be awesome at being like a couple that people would love to see play piano and sing or something.
Yes, we have. We have. It's just hard to get that off the ground for a number of reasons. One of them being, unless you're writing your own stuff, if you're charging for concerts and you're doing cover songs, it gets expensive.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
What about like YouTube though? Like starting on YouTube and you can throw that on your channel. Like you guys just doing, she writes the lyrics, you write the music?
Right. Which is, that is
that the goal?
That is a goal.
That's such a good goal.
And doing originals specifically.
I would love it. I love listening to you guys at church.
Well, thank you.
It's like my favorite.
Oh.
Really?
Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah.
We do like doing that kind of stuff. And we did a YouTube back in the day called The Merry Married Marketers. And we had so much fun with it. And it was basically, we reviewed stuff that we liked. It started out because we did a review of Nature Valley's coconut butter bars that we were, I kid you not, obsessed with. I had never been so excited about a product until I had these coconut butter bars that were amazing. If you know what I'm talking about, you know how amazing. Have you had them?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So I was at work. We got them. They were on sale at Jewel, which is a store here. They were on sale. We got one box. I went to work. This is when we lived in Thompson. She was at home. We both tasted them probably around the same time. She emailed me at work saying, "Oh my gosh, have you tried this bar yet?" Did not get her email till I came home for lunch, and I opened the door and I'm like, "Tabs, did you try these coconut butter bars?" And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I emailed you. I was so excited." So then we just pulled out a camera and we filmed ourselves raving about these Nature Valley bars. And I tagged Nature Valley. They reached out to us.
Oh my God.
And thanked us for the video and sent us like 8 boxes of Nature Valley coconut butter bars. And then they remembered us at New Year's. They sent us a box, no joke, that big, probably with 12 or 16 boxes, and thanked us again for doing that kind of thing. And we were like, we should so do this. So then we started a channel and started reviewing stuff. And it lasted a couple months. We did maybe 6 videos. And we thought about bringing that out again.
That's a good idea.
Just always ideas floating everywhere.
I know. We're really good at ideas, aren't we?
Where they go? I just need a business manager.
Oh my gosh.
Tells me Aaron, that's a good idea. Why don't you go actually do that and commit to that?
Have you talked to Jay at 392 ever? Have you guys ever
spoken to him?
So he's very similar in that. When Jay and I talk, we probably plan 30 businesses within an hour time frame. And then at the end, we're just like, none of those are going to happen because we can, well, both of us can plan anything, but then you have to find the person to actually do it. And it's not us because we have too many things to do already.
And money plays a big part in all of it.
It does.
I wish it didn't drive it, which is why I have a goal. I just told Kyle, I won't tell you the whole story because we're pretty much out of time. Maybe next week, maybe I'll have a development by then. But that is why my new goal is to get, even though the entertainment industry is a very irregular payment type of business, feast or famine, my goal is to get regularity in income by somehow, getting in some sort of contract with a production company or whoever, so that that stress is eliminated. So then when you have that stress eliminated, I feel like I'll be able to be way more creative because I know what's coming. I know what my routine is, but then I can do other stuff like podcasts without having to worry about or thinking about how it could turn into a business, because I would love to just be able to work, and which allows you to free up time to do the other things you want to do that are passion-based, not necessarily income-based.
Yeah. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Very close.
We're super close. By we, I mean you. And by you, I mean that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I told you, but we over doubled our revenue last year from KT3. So that was cool. We also nearly doubled our expenses. Not quite. So it was good. It was good as far as that goes. I say that, and it's like, where did it all go? Not sure. Still wondering who took it, but it was good. So, anywho, we have one more episode, and we're going to have a celebration party for our last episode. That's probably going to be filmed in a couple. It's going to be a few days.
This week.
Few days.
Because Kyle's leaving. Beach. Remember that? He's going to a beach.
Going to the beach. Let's go get away. That's a Nicki Minaj song.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Anyway, we love you, even if we don't know you.
Thank you. Bye.